Welcome back. Oftentimes, people may forget that dairy producers are also beef producers, and dairy cattle make an important contribution to the U.S. beef supply. And so, the 2013 NCBA president was both a dairy and beef cattle producer from Wyoming. Once again, we look back to our story profiling that year's president, Scott George.
Nestled in the mountains of northwest Wyoming, you'll find George Farms, a family dairy operation that's been in business for nearly 70 years. It's the land Scott George has lived off of his whole life, and the same land his parents homesteaded back in 1947.
They started farming, and they were having trouble farming, making enough money to farm, and so the banker told them, you've got to do something to make some more money. And so they bought some cows and started milking cows, and we've been milking cows ever since.
Today, Scott and his crew milk 550 cows twice a day, 365 days of the year. And if that isn't enough to keep them busy, George Farms also has a beef cattle operation.
Our beef herd we kind of stumbled into. One year we had some excess silage and we sold it to a man, and it turns out he didn't have money to pay for it. But he had some calves that he hadn't got sold, and we got those calves in payment. And we were kind of looking at expanding into the beef herd as well, because we really enjoy the cattle and we know how to run cattle. And so we've started building our herd since then, and we're running around 100 and some odd mother cows now, and we really enjoy them.
Every single person who works on the farm plays an integral role in the operation's success. And despite his busy schedule, Scott is committed to keeping the business family-centered.
We've been able to work with our whole family. I grew up working with my father farming and milking cows, and my mother milked cows for years. I've worked with my brothers. We've learned how to get along. Some people don't do that. I've also got to work with my children on the farm, and my brother's children, and my sister's children. I think nearly every one of my nephews and nieces have worked on the farm at one time or another in their lives.
Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
I'm really proud of our operation. Teamwork is absolutely the bedrock of our operation.
And that teamwork is going to be vital over the next year. As president of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, Scott will be on the road for nearly 10 months in 2013, and he'll have to rely on his family to keep the operation running smoothly while he's gone.
Spending that much time on the road is going to be a real challenge. We do have a strong team, but every team member plays a part. And when one is out of the picture, the others have to shoulder the burden. I'm going to owe a big, big debt of gratitude to my brothers and these nephews and to our employees that are working, because they're shouldering my part of this load.
Scott's path to being an NCBA president is a bit different than past presidents. In 1991, he was asked to serve as a director for the Wyoming Beef Council. Little did he know it was a decision that would spark his passion for being a leader in the beef industry.
As I got more informed of what we were doing with the checkoff on both the state level and the national level, I got more interested in working at the national level as well. And eventually I was appointed to represent the Federation. And I worked on the Federation side, and through that involvement I got more involved and got to see what NCBA's policy arm was doing.
While some people might think it's strange to have a dairyman as an NCBA president, Scott says he has a lot of knowledge about the beef industry and is ready for the responsibility of leading the association.
We've had cow-calf operators, we've had stocker operators, we've had feeder operators. Now we have dairymen that are part of this organization. Our cattle all end up in the beef supply chain somewhere along the line. And it's becoming more and more important, the dairy cattle are, to the whole beef sector as our nation's beef cow herd is shrinking. As a dairyman, I feel like I kind of understand the whole cattle business. I mean, we work with the breeding of our dairy cows and beef cows both. We artificially inseminate. We understand birthing the calves, we understand raising the calves, we raise all of our own replacements, we raise all of our own replacement heifers, and we're also raising some bulls and selling bulls.
The issues facing the beef industry are a top priority for Scott. During his time as NCBA president, he's committed to making sure issues like the estate tax and government overregulation are at the forefront of discussions with lawmakers in Washington.
There are a lot of issues that are of interest. Absolutely the top one on my mind is the estate tax. We see farmers and ranchers that are asset rich and cash poor. They live poor their whole lives. They live by the skin of their teeth. I know what that's like because we're there. We're always there. And yet when it comes time that they pass away, their children would like to carry on that business, and estate tax can eat them up.
Scott knows the importance of helping the beef industry resolve these challenges, but he also knows how to keep a good sense of humor when things start to get too serious.
My favorite dairy joke, I guess, would have to be about the woman that stopped the milk delivery man, and she said, "I would like to have you leave enough milk so I can take a bath. It's supposed to be good for my skin complexion." And he said, "Do you want it pasteurized?" And she said, "No, just up to my navel."
During his term as NCBA president, Scott is dedicated to helping protect the farming and ranching way of life so future generations can have the chance to enjoy it as well.
I recognize that you're never going to appease everybody. Not everybody's going to be happy with every decision that's made in the world. And in the end, we have to look at the big picture. What's the best for the entire industry? What gives us the opportunity to stay in business, to be in business, and to prosper, to take care of our families, to take care of the lands and the cattle, and enjoy the lives that we enjoy living. I love working with the land and the cattle, and I want other people that want to have that opportunity to be able to do it.